Yo, how's everyone doing? Welcome back for some more Forza Horizon 3. Today I'm going to be reviewing the 2011 Koenigsegg Agera, and I really had high hopes for this thing after how much I enjoyed driving the 1-to-1, but to be 100% honest with you, this car really underwhelmed me. But we're going to start off in the Forza Vista so I can showcase the car and also show you all the cool features that this thing has. Then we're going to move over to some free roam gameplay so you can see the crazy top speed, and that's going to be followed by some racing gameplay so you can truly see how this car performs. And then we're finally going to end off with some free roam gameplay once again so you can hear the sounds of this thing, because the car does sound good and it looks pretty cool too. I mean, it looks very similar to the 1-to-1, but I think the 1-to-1 looked a little bit nicer, just a lot more cool features going on. But the doors open the same exact way, and that is pretty cool. But the interior of this thing looks really good. I really like the seats, and I just had to close the door and see how it looked from the inside. But really cool interior design, and the exterior looks pretty good overall. It looks a little odd from the back. If you just look straight on from the back, it looks very just different. It just doesn't look right for some reason, to me at least. But it is a pretty cool car overall. But in terms of performance in Forza Horizon 3, I didn't really like this thing all too much. I have to say, I just straight up did not like this thing all that much. But before we get into that, I just had to show this. I had no idea that this thing had a body kit preset tune, and look at this thing. It has a little roof box. I mean, why would you put that on an Agera? I mean, if you really want to go on a road trip with this car, I guess it's kind of necessary because you won't have any room to put anything. But I definitely like the stock wheels better. All they do is lower it, add power to the motor, and then just put that weird roof box on the car. So I may try that out, just drive it and see how it performs, and maybe make another video on that. But if it drives kinda not any better than it did when it was stock, I probably won't do that. But it would be pretty cool just to see how that thing looks when you're driving it with the roof box on top of it. But let's start talking more about the performance. So the launch in this thing, not that great. It is rear-wheel drive, and it's near the middle of the S2 class, so it is a hypercar, and I just don't think that it's all that competitive of a hypercar. And the reason for that is just overall the handling characteristics really aren't that good. I mean, the launch doesn't have good grip, and first and second gear are very short. Finally, in third gear, going in a straight line, you're going to have pretty much full grip, but if you're going around a turn in third gear, you still have to be careful. You need a lot of throttle control with this car. But as you can see right here, I almost forgot to mention those spoilers. There's actually a few different options, and that's nice to see. I really wasn't expecting any options when it came to the wings, but the launch on this car just does not feel good at all. The handling is fine when you're in 4th or 5th gear and below that, and lower speeds, just going around some simple turns. But right when you hit 6th and 7th gear, higher speeds, I mean, this thing is not good for high-speed cornering at all, so you can't do those high-speed sprints with this car, which hypercars, that's what I like to do with them. So that was one thing that really got me that I didn't like about it. And the other thing is, though, just the braking on this car. It says that it's pretty good in the statistics. If you look at that, you would think it would be good, but honestly, the brakes felt very weak to me overall. So now you're seeing the top speed. That's one good thing about the car. It tops out at about 260 miles per hour, which is fine. I mean, perfectly good for a car in the middle of the S2 class. But the other problem is the acceleration is very good through pretty much 6th gear. I mean, 6th gear starts to slow down a little bit, but the problem is 7th gear is very slow, very sluggish, and compared to the 1-to-1, I mean, the 1-to-1 nailed 270 pretty much with no struggle at all, but this thing just feels so slow top ends. And considering how bad all the handling characteristics are, that really makes the car just weak in pretty much every aspect. So that's a pretty good summary of why I don't like this thing. I mean, it shifts kind of fast, and the gearing feels fine after you get into third gear, but it's just not that great of a race car. It's good in a straight line, it's fun to cruise with, but in Forza Horizon 3 as a race car bone stock, I really don't find it to be all too competitive. Now, there's plenty of upgrades. You can certainly make this thing faster, and you can put race tires, a little bit thicker of rear tires, but I don't think it's really going to be any grippier, even if you put those better tires on, because you're also going to need to add power, and that will pretty much cancel out any grip that you gain by doing that. So you can also make this thing all-wheel drive, but considering how bad the handling already is, top ends, and it's not even the best like in the lower gears either. This thing's not going to turn good at all if you make it all-wheel drive, so I really don't see that being a good option either. So I'm kind of just thinking, you know, it's just not even worth buying. Like, it's really just not worth having in this game, especially considering that you can just get the 1-to-1. I mean, it's only about 1 million more credits, and yes, you're going to have to save up more, but believe me, it will be well worth it, because this car really just was not fun to drive, and I think the only way it would be fun is if you just made it as fast as possible, kept it rear-wheel drive, but turned traction control on, because then it might actually be able to be competitive, but still it probably won't turn all that well. I mean, that's one huge weakness too, is just the handling. The car just does not turn well, and even though it's rear-wheel drive, it still does not, so making it all-wheel drive will just make things worse, and you know me, either way I probably would never do that. So overall, I really just did not like this thing, and kinda sucks that I wasted my 1.5 million credits on it, because I'm probably never gonna drive it again besides just trying out that body kit preset tune. But I have to say, you need to see the end of this race. It is even crazier of a finish than yesterday if you saw my video about the 458 Speciale, but man, I was just as surprised probably as you're gonna be when you see this finish. But as always, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to let me know what you think of the Agera in Forza Horizon 3. But have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to y'all again very soon. Peace out.